The Thunder just keeps dealing. I'm Barry Trammell along with Thunder writer Brett Dawson, and this is a Thunder update. And Brett, the Thunder continues to stay active. A couple of trades in recent days keeps that roster churning over.
Yeah, I hope nobody went out and bought a Rodney Purvis jersey because Rodney Purvis was here for less than a week. So yeah, just a lot of turnover. The Thunder's really, it looks like making a commitment to this faster style of play that Billy Donovan wants to adopt. They've moved away from some big guys. They get off Dakari Johnson's contract. And then rather than keep Rodney Purvis and just waive him to create a roster space, they go out and get Abdel Nader, another one of these kind of developmental wings under age 25, kind of what the Thunder's been stockpiling. 5 of those guys have come onto this team since draft day. Well,
the end result is Dakari Johnson is out, Abdel Nader in, plus they've added some of those similar type players in the draft with second-round picks. Is the hope that one of these guys turns into a player?
Yeah, I think the hope is that between maybe, I think a couple of these guys are maybe longer-term guys, maybe Kevin Hervey, Devin Hall. Unlikely, I would think, to compete for roster spots, but between guys like Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, I'm probably saying that wrong, Hamidou Diallo, and Abdel Nader, maybe if one of those guys becomes a guy who can contribute, TLC has been a guy who's been a rotation guy. Abdel Nader has played limited minutes, but some minutes for the Celtics. So they've got some guys who have some NBA experience. They have a guy in Diallo who has the kind of athleticism you want in today's NBA. And they still have Terrence Ferguson, a guy who they don't know exactly what he is, but he's a piece they can try to develop at that position.
Looking at the wing position, 13 guys basically on the roster, so room for one of these guys to fill out 14. Probably that's what the Thunder will go with, 14 guys. In the Kyle Singler situation, here's a wing. He's got a year left on his contract, for sure, guaranteed. A year after that is a team option. What's his future look like in terms of contract status?
Yeah, he's probably the most likely guy to move between now and the start of camp because they have a couple of options with him. One, they can trade him into somebody's cap space and take back really nothing. And that gives somebody that option. Because his last year is non-guaranteed, a team can trade him, and then the team that it trades him to can release him at the end of the season at no cost. So he's got value as a trade piece, so the Thunder could look to trade him in that way, or they could waive and stretch the $5 million he's owed. Because he has an extra year on that contract, even though it's a non-guaranteed year, his stretch will be over 5 seasons instead of 3. And that means the hit would be really minimal. You're looking at about $1 million a year in dead money on your cap. That's not too significant. So they could save some pretty significant money by moving on from Singler either through a stretch and a waive and stretch or a trade. And that would open up another one of these roster spots if they wanted to keep a couple of these guys around.
Who's out of these wing prospects? Is TLC the most likely guy to impact the upcoming season?
I think so. He's not just a throw-in in that trade. He's a piece they wanted, I think, a piece that they see some value in. I think Abdel Nader is the same way. I mean, I think he's a guy that they see having some potential. But if you look at, I think if you put Hamidou Diallo on the roster, it's really to get a 19-year-old who's got great athleticism around NBA players, get him some practices with these guys, play him back and forth a little. Wouldn't necessarily sign him to a two-way deal, but you'd play him with the blue some. Kind of the plan I think we all sort of thought Terrence Ferguson would follow last year. Ferguson was a little more advanced and their need was a little greater than we thought. Now they've got a couple of other options. I think TLC is probably the guy who's most likely, if you're looking at one of these wings, to be in the rotation.
All right, humor me. TLC, pronounce his name again?
Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot.
The new guy from the Celtics, by way of the Magic. What's his?
Abdel Nader.
And finally, the Kentucky rookie.
Hamidou Diallo. Every one of these guys will have a nickname, except for, I don't know about Abdel Nader. Luwawu-Cabarrot is TLC or Timo. Hamidou Diallo is Hami.
Have you considered a career in pronunciation coaching? That was fantastic. Come to here for all of your pronunciation needs here at News OK. Stay tuned for further Thunder coverage here at News OK and every day in the Oklahoman.